Hello everyone, welcome back to the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel, the DOU, where we are going to be speaking celebrity, royalty, pop life, and alt news. So today on our usual kick, we're going to speak about the Duchess of Sussex and the Duke himself. Basically, what's happening is I did a video yesterday, and that video was about the royal funds. It's here, right here. It's about 20 hours ago. So check that video out. And of course, there's a bunch of other ones. I think there's like almost 100 videos. So find one you like and definitely comment. Now, you all know that I'm supporting the channel. I am partnering with other companies to be able to expand and bring you things while I'm at this level. I'm still small, so if you can, check out the links that are in the description box below. One of them is Vitamin Vape. It's partnering with me, and I am bringing you, I think it's like 10 or 15% off a purchase in the description box. Again, I want to make this a short video, and this is kind of bouncing off this video, the Sussex Royal Funds. If you haven't checked that video out, please go ahead and do so. It's in the lineup. Let's go and see. Now, when I was doing that video, I came across this article on Harper's Bazaar, which if you watched the video yesterday, the Sussex funds, where Harry is said to be allegedly transferring these funds from Sussex Royale, which is no longer, is defunct, and putting it into Travelist.org. I believe it's .org. You will see that there's been a watchdog group that has said, hey, wait a minute, that's misappropriation of funds or what have you. So basically people who gave their money to the Sussex Royal brand, that organization, the foundation, whatever it was, because that's still very kind of shady, in my opinion. They have now decided to move it over to Travelist because, as you know, the Queen said, oh, hell no, you're not going to be putting any royal on anything. So quit thinking that. And so they made up Archewell, which is like Archewell cookies, which is like Archie, the cartoon character, which is like supposedly a moniker to your kid, but yet it doesn't seem real. It seems like a weak attempt at creating some kind of place to funnel funds as a slush fund so that you can just kind of have money, in the bank, so to speak, or in holding. So when I was doing that video, I came across harpersbazaar.com, and they were alluding to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which is when Meghan had decided, okay, I'm going to make Archie. So I decided to skim this article, which you know that I did when I did the video yesterday. And I found that this too is in a holding pattern because I'm not sure, but I believe that something's stopping Archewell as well from coming to fruition. So I decided to go to this website here, Celebrity Latest, and click on the United States Patent and Trademark Office on March 10th, which is in the article. And then I decided to poke some more. Yes, I did. So first of all, here we have Travelist.org. And so Travelist, this wonderful partnership of Prince Harry's, is basically designed to, I don't know, have you travel in a more conscious manner. I don't know, because I guess they're saying that there's this stuff lying around in the wonderful places that you want to go, but you're not seeing it. So perhaps maybe you'll do some volunteer work while you're there. I'm not sure. Or maybe giving people the option to do some type of cleanup. I'm not really sure, because even when I read the situation, which they know all about situations, I find that it doesn't click with me because I'm not a huge travel person. First of all, you have to have a pretty decent amount of money to be traveling, especially on a consistent basis. However, You can travel, of course, once a year and choose where you want to go. Okay, so if those of you who do that and travel outside of the United States, then I imagine things are going to get either a lot cheaper or a lot more expensive due to the whole coronavirus thing. I guess I'll wait for people to comment on that. But if you go to travelist.org, you can read all about this yourself because maybe it resonates with you. So I decided that I wanted to wonder a little bit more where all this money is funneling into. And by the way, I believe they're having a virtual meeting in July. I want to say it's the 30th, but but I'm not really seeing it right now, but it is on their website. I promise you. If you go to the website and look at every page very carefully, you'll see, here it is, the Global Summit. Let's see. I would have sworn they had one coming up. It's virtual, so maybe somebody will get to see Prince Harry virtually, or maybe not. But the point being is that if you're interested in this type of thing and you want to learn more, that would probably be a good way to get into the groove. So when I looked at Travelist again and I looked at this article on Harper's Bazaar, I kind of wanted to go and peek. So I peeked and I wanted to look at the drawing. So I looked at the drawing, which is right here. So this is the artwork for the organization, Archewell. Pretty nondescript. It's almost like, well, we don't care about how it's written. We'll just use this type font. So that's the type font. And let's see if we can get anything else. No? Okay. It's only one document. So this is what it'll look like if you ever see it in the future. Now here's the document on the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And here is a list of all the goodies. Now here's the application, and that was on March 3rd, and of course the research summary. So let's peek at that real quick, just so you're affiliated with what these documents look like. Some of us will be affiliated with it and some won't, and even if you are, not every document is familiar to us. So I'm assuming that these are search words, or that doesn't seem like a word to me, but maybe it's abbreviated. So Arch, live views document. Okay, so if I'm wrong, please correct me, but this looks like it's the searching. How many searches are for these particular words? Archie, arch, and perhaps these are all indications of what's in the patent itself, or the trademark, excuse me. So the search, Cobblestone Lane, I'm not really sure what the Cobblestone Lane, Archewell is spelled with an E here and spelled with without an E here. So this could very well be search terms, and it's only one document of one. So let's get off of that. Let's close that up. This is the same thing. So that's the artwork, one of one. And let's look at the application right quick. So the mark is Archewell. Standard characters, United States Patent Trademark Office. Literal element, Archewell. The mark consists of standard characters without claim of any particular font size. Cobblestone Lane, the owner of the mark is in this Cobblestone Lane. Okay, so we'll take that in a minute and look at that. It's a limited liability company. There's no email address that they wanted to share. It's interesting because Delaware is a place where a lot of people create businesses to kind of have an umbrella of protection and for tax reasons. Now, the identification I wanted to look at with you of this Archewell: downloadable articles, educational material, magazines, electronic books, audiobooks on a variety of topics, downloadable photographs, downloadable image files containing artwork, text, audio, video, graphics relating to music, motion picture films, articles, books, audiobooks, podcasts, audiovisual entertainment, television shows, digital. You're going to do television shows? Ugh, could you think of a talk show with Meghan? Oh, hell no. Mm-mm. And informational programming, pre-recorded video cassettes, okay, CDs, discs, MP3s, all featuring music. All featuring music, okay. Motion picture films, you said that already. We said that already. Scripted programming, unscripted, scripted, informational programming, animated television shows. Are you going to do a kids show? Oh no. Is that going to be like your dog book? No. Computer software, downloadable applications for accessing, downloading, streaming, playing, and digital viewing, entertainment, content, informational programming, downloadable computer, this, that, and the other situation. Okay. So it looks to me like it's a lot of entertainment stuff. Like, so Meghan's planning on using Archewell to get into television? No, thank you. Other identification is clothing, namely tops, bottoms, shirts, skirts, dresses, pants, jeans, shorts, sweaters, jackets, socks, loungewear, rainwear, footwear, and headwear. So is that what she thinks, that we're all going to walk around with Archewell on our hats, or what? I'm not sure about that. Let's look over here. Identification. So the different classifications, by the way, international class, it's an 035. So these are different codes, and that would be something we'll look up another time. And here, this identification for international class is charitable services, namely promotion, public awareness, causes, charitable events, developing coordinated volunteer programs, community service projects, matching volunteers with nonprofit organizations, marketing services, namely promotional. You get the idea. Okay, it's basically soup to nuts. Then we have classification 036. And if anyone knows exactly what 036 is, please share it in the comments so we can all have a discussion about that. Charitable funding, fundraising services, foundation services, namely providing fundraising activities, scholarships, financial assistance for programs and services others. Wait a minute. And financial assistance for programs and services of others, providing grants to charities. So let's stop the bus right here. So this is stating, this little 036 international class is fundraising for other charities. So basically, Meghan's charity will collect money and disperse it out to other organizations, kind of like, I guess, the Clinton Foundation, as an example, collects money from people and organizations and donors and distributes it out. Like, for instance, when they supposedly created houses in Haiti for the Haitians after the earthquake, but then later it was reported that they actually only created 6 houses. Now, I haven't gotten deep into that, but you can look at that, the Clinton Foundation and Haiti, and you'll be seeing a barrage of information on it. So that's what Meghan's planning to do. She's basically imitating, say, these other foundations, which even the Obamas, I believe, have a foundation. They often say that these foundations, not saying that that's what the Obamas are doing or even what Clintons are doing, but these foundations are slush funds. They basically just kind of pile money into them from donors and other people, from fundraisers, and they just kind of sit there. And those funds are used in a manner of ways, but sometimes they're not used exactly what as the donors or the people who gave money had really imagined. So if you're donating to Haiti because you think they're going to build, 50 houses, but they only build 6, well, that's kind of a technical thing, and it's like they really didn't live up to it, but they can say they're still working on it. There could be technical errors. There could be things that are going on that are prohibiting them. And again, they didn't tell you they're going to build, 50 houses in 1 year, they just said 50 houses, for instance. It's not the actual number, but 50 houses. And if they only built two, well, then I guess people would have to go back and say, well, they're building 50 over the next 10 years or 5 years, or that's a question that you would ask the Clinton Foundation and see what their answers are. But again, or any foundation, this is just any foundation. This is not necessarily speaking that that's what the Clinton said. But if you look online and Google or search, you'll see that there's a lot to be said about these foundations and how they spend their money. It's supposed to be very transparent, but okay, so you get the idea. Here's another classification, international class, and it's an 041. And it goes on to say development and dissemination of printed educational training material. So I assume that they think they're going to do this all over the world, and this is open for anybody all over the world who wants to donate. And I think that that's kind of the gist of it. And it's for the same thing, publication of books, magazines, and nothing. It's basically just trying to put an umbrella on everything in case they might want to do it, and they might not, but if they do it, they have everything in place, because this is a process, as you see, that takes a long time. So again, this is an international class 044, providing a website featuring information. So they've got that trademarked. Organizing and conducting support groups for persons in need. I don't know why you would do I guess you want to do more emotional support, or you want to do, I don't know, mental health stuff. I don't know. See, sometimes it's like if you have money, you can just do anything. And that should be something that stopped. Okay. So basically down here we have Venerable LLP, and this is where they are. And I had thought I'd look up Venerable LLP, sorry, and look at where they're located. So they're right in Los Angeles, and that's where Meghan is stationed now, and they're also in Washington, D.C., among other places. So you can probably get to them anywhere very quickly. They're actually in every major city, so you can fly right there from anywhere. Now, I tried to look up to see if maybe Benita Litt, her friend, her very best friend, who is actually a attorney, I wanted to see who now works. She also has an organization making bags, fashion bags, whatever, pocketbooks. And she's also an attorney, or at least she was. So I wanted to see if maybe Bonita Litt was involved in this somehow, but I couldn't find her name anywhere. But let's try one more time, just for fun, and see if Bonita Litt's name comes up. So no results found. That doesn't mean a ton to me, but if she was in any of this scope here, she would pop up maybe because her name pops up in something. But there isn't anything under the L's, so I don't know really much about this, and it's probably going to be on my list of things to do, because I really think that sometimes you want to look just a touch, a layer or two deeper. But there was nothing here that I could find that made any sense to me. Except I see Epstein as Alan, L. Michelle Mulrooney, spelled maybe a little bit differently. And I thought that that was kind of interesting. So I'm going to leave that there. So what do you think about this whole Travelist and Royal Foundation moving money over, Prince Harry's moving money over to Travelist.org, his organization? It's interesting for a lot of reasons, and maybe for no reasons. For one, the first thing I think of is, why are they moving it over to Travelist? But then he says, or his people have said and put a comment out, that it's still a nonprofit. So Travelist.org is a nonprofit of some sort. I don't know. Sometimes it's amazing. You can slap nonprofit on a lot of things, but you still can make a profit. So look that up. But it's some type of nonprofit, and he's moved the money over from Sussex Foundation, and whistleblowers were like, hey, how can you do that? That's misappropriation of funds. And Prince Harry's like, no, it's not. Okay. And this is why it's not, because it's also a nonprofit. We have the fact that they have this trademark status. And one last thing I want to show you is that the application has to be replied to. So they have these documents and they have to be replied by a certain date. And that date, I believe, is June 2nd. And if you don't reply by the said date that they've issued, then it becomes an abandoned situation. So in other words, this application becomes abandoned. And that would mean, just like what happened with Sussex Foundation, in essence, is that it was applied for, it just sat there because I think they had a lot of people, going against them. But then also the Queen said you can't use royal, and she shut that down, even though Meghan said, oh, you don't own the word royal. Oh, but when you are married to someone in my family and we are royal, well then, yes, you cannot suddenly start using royal because in the way that she's using it. So that turned out to be a boom in her face. But this application was started, and I believe in May. However, she has, or the person over this, which is, I believe, is Venable.com, or the LLP agency there, they have until, I believe it's, so 6 months from this date, they have until January, if I'm not mistaken, just about January. And we're already in almost the end of July of 2020. So this is coming very quick. You have issue date here, and you need to respond within 6 months or it will be abandoned. What do you think? Let me know what you think about now Archewell. Are these people going through with it? Is it taking this long? They haven't submitted any more forms. Is Meghan and Harry on house arrest? Is it something that they just can't even think about this right now? Or is this going to happen? I'm not really sure that Archewell needs to happen, because really, we're even hearing that she's doing the TIG again. We hear everything. We hear she's doing the TIG. We hear she's doing voiceover. We hear she's doing film work. We hear that she's going to be getting into politics, even though the film work, I think, is going to be few and far between. She's not that good of an actress, even though she's acting as Prince Harry's wife on the royal stage. We still feel something's not right. And what do you think about Harry turning all the money from the Sussex Royal Foundation over to Travelist.org? Why not just put it in some other fund and then transfer it over to Archewell? Or it could be that he's putting it into Travelist.org and holding on to it, or knowingly holding on to it, to move it over to Archewell when next year it launches. All right, I will see you in the next video. Ran out of time. I am so glad you joined me. If you are interested in this video, will you consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and supporting this channel? I'll see you in the next one. Bye.